EU Chief Negotiator Michel Barnier underlined that there will be no post-Brexit trade deal without agreement on fisheries. Rowana Biancarino reports.
In Ireland, Irish Prime Minister Micheál Martin proposed two candidates on Friday to serve as Ireland's next EU Commissioner after the country's former representative resigned for breaching coronavirus guidelines. He recommended that European Parliament Vice President Mairead McGuinness or Andrew McDowell, former Vice President of the European Investment Bank, replace Phil Hogan, who was the EU's Trade Commissioner. Both are candidates of the highest caliber, possessing the necessary competence, independence, and European commitment to serve in the role of commissioner with distinction, a government statement said. Hogan resigned last week after the Irish government said he breached coronavirus guidelines on a recent visit to his home country. The 60-year-old held the potent trade portfolio on the European Commission and has been a forceful figure in Brexit talks between Britain and the EU. His tenure also saw trade battles with the Trump administration in the United States and commercial tensions with China. But details of a recent trip he made to Ireland snowballed into a scandal after it emerged he attended a parliamentary Gulf Society event in breach of COVID-19 regulations. The event, attended by swaths of lawmakers, a cabinet minister, and a Supreme Court judge, sparked resignations at the highest level of Irish politics and resulted in the rare unseating of a Brussels figure by a domestic scandal. There is no guarantee that Ireland will remain a trade portfolio as Commission President Ursula von der Leyen oversees a reshuffle in the wake of Hogan's departure. And in other news within Europe, the UK is attempting to hold on to the benefits of EU membership without heeding its obligations. The bloc's chief negotiator, Michel Barnier, speaks of this. Let's listen.
The UK government is still looking to keep the benefits of the EU and of the single market without the obligations. The EU has repeatedly shown flexibility and creativity to work with the UK's red lines on the role of the European Court of Justice, for instance, on preserving the UK's legislative autonomy on fisheries. It's time for the UK to reciprocate. To be clear, we will not sacrifice, never sacrifice, the EU's long-term economic and political interests for the sole benefit.
EU Chief Negotiator Michel Barnier underlined Wednesday there will be no post-Brexit trade deal without agreement on fisheries, warning Britain against using the issue as a bargaining chip in stalled talks. Barnier said London's position, which calls for annual negotiations on fishing quotas and access, could lock out European fishermen from UK waters. He noted they had been fishing there before long. Britain joined the European Economic Community, the precursor to the European Union, in 1973. Britain formally left the EU in January, nearly 4 years after a landmark referendum to end almost 50 years of European integration. But it is currently in a standstill transition period until the end of 2020, as the government tries to negotiate a new trade deal with the bloc. If no accord is finalized by December 31, EU fishing fleets fear being locked out of rich waters surrounding Britain. Barnier said talks in London this week had not yielded any change in the position of the UK. We need a breakthrough, he said. Prime Minister Boris Johnson's spokesman said that while a trade agreement is possible, it's clear that that's not going to be easy to achieve. He told reporters in London the EU is insisting on sealing the fisheries deal before progressing other strands in the talks, making it very difficult to progress. Barnier said the trade deal must be concluded by the end of October to allow the European Parliament and European Council member states to have their say. He added important questions remain open on Britain's implementation of the protocol for Northern Ireland, around goods arriving and leaving and checks on them. The province, which saw 3 decades of sectarian violence between nationalists who favor being part of Ireland and Protestant unionists who want to remain in the UK, will be the nation's only land border with the EU post-Brexit. The UK still needs to complete many practical preparations, time-consuming and resource-intensive preparations, Barnier said. I'm Romana Biancarino, correspondent in the Republic of Ireland, and we live in interesting times.